Okay, hey everyone, it's me, Jason, and today I have a totally hypothetical situation. Let's say you are a parent, mother or father to a teenage boy, and that teenage boy comes home one day and says, "Mom or Dad, I have a confession to make." And the first thing that comes to your mind in this hypothetical situation is, "Oh no, they must have found my stash, or the adoption papers." But no, what they say is, Mom, Dad, I used ChatGPT or a large language model to do an assignment, to do my homework, to do something. I cheated using ChatGPT. So what should you do as a parent? What is the right thing to do? So first of all, as someone who's been in AI for years, I find, it's inevitable they're all going to be using ChatGPT. They're all going to be using GPT for the assignments. I think it's important to use them to do the research and to help brainstorm and not to actually submit it as the assignment, because obviously for one, you're not learning anything, so that it's important that you learn. We all need to learn. I learn stuff all the time. And two, it's unethical, right? You're not doing it, so it's important that A, that you do it because it's important that you learn, and B, because it's unethical. But that doesn't mean you can't use it to sort of brainstorm and come up with ideas. So in that hypothetical situation, what I would say, son or daughter, the first thing you need to do is you need to ask the teacher and tell them there was a mistake, and then you need to resubmit the assignment. You need to take what ChatGPT gave you and then use that to form an actual essay or presentation, and then resubmit it. That's kind of what I would say in that theoretical situation. But here I found on Reddit, and this is crazy, an actual situation where a teacher is accusing the student of using ChatGPT on essays. So, teacher has accused me of using ChatGPT. So let's take a look at this article on Reddit, because this is absolutely hilarious. And my theory is that he did use ChatGPT on the essay, and he's just trying to figure out if he's going to get caught. So here we go. My teacher has accused me of using ChatGPT on 2 of my essays, but he spells essays with the possessive. It's not, it doesn't belong to the essays, sir. There's no apostrophe there. I did not use it. I don't know if I believe you. She emailed me with screenshots showing a software saying it's 60% AI generated. Okay, now I'm going to call shenanigans on that, because there is no software that would be able to do that. And 60%, that's just barely over 50-50, right? So that doesn't really mean anything. It's not really conclusive. And she will be having a conversation with me tomorrow, and there's another typo on tomorrow. Maybe you should spell check. I go to a strict boarding school, and they take this stuff really seriously. What can I tell her? And this is the key right here. Also, is there a way to actually prove you used GPT? So my theory is that he did use ChatGPT on both of these essays, and he got caught. But it was just totally, I think, a coincidence that he got caught. And I think he got caught because he was probably, he was using language, he was using words like tapestry probably in the essay, and not the way he talks like he does in this email, which has obviously typos. And everyone is saying here, just take the teacher's email and run it through the same software, which doesn't work, and it'll also show that it was AI generated. In fact, even that message that she sent him could be run through that software, and it could be proven that he's using ChatGPT, or that the teacher's using GPT. So there's really no conclusive way of proving it. Okay, so let's say you did submit an essay or using ChatGPT. Let's say you're so lazy that you want to just still go ahead and use GPT. So one of the things that you could do is actually put a lot of typos in there, right? Innocent until proven guilty, remain calm and stick with the truth. So people are just giving him advice like from the world of criminal law. Maybe read her off paragraphs from memory, or explain. Okay, so this is actually the real. If it's not true and you didn't use GPT, right? It should be super easy to prove. First of all, if you used Google Documents, you could just go and do versions in history, for one, right, to show your process. B, if you didn't do it on Google Docs, you probably have notes, right? You did an outline. Show them the outline. Or 3, if none of that, if you don't have any of that and you just sort of improvise the whole thing, just go in there and explain the topic to her as if you know it. Because if you know the topic, then there's no reason to suspect that you use GPT. And so this teacher says, I'm a teacher, and I would 1,000,000%, 10,000% back off if a student could legit explain anything in an essay I was suspicious about, and I'd apologize. Okay, so the best thing to do in this case is not to use ChatGPT as the actual final outcome. Use it to research, use it to understand, to bullet point, to brainstorm. Okay, and now here, this is just proof, right? Here, let's look at this. Statements from various major American universities on why they won't support or allow the use of any of these detectors. And we have from MIT right over here. And the headline is, AI detectors don't work. Here's what to do instead. So if you are a parent and your child is using ChatGPT or GPT, I would say encourage it, but encourage them to use it wisely. Don't encourage them to use it to replace hard work or to replace doing the work. The other side of that coin is teachers. So if you're a teacher, it's obvious that kids are going to be using these tools. It's obvious that when you assign kids an assignment that they're going to be using it either to research or to just do it entirely. Take that into consideration and make the assignments, maybe make part of the assignments a verbal part where they have to verbally talk about it, or maybe have them explain their steps and how they got there or the thinking behind it. So they shouldn't be tested necessarily on just the end result, but they should be tested on how they got to that, with the process, their internal process, the heuristics of their decision making in terms of how they got to that part of their theory or their essay or whatever. And I think I want to end on one comment from a teacher here. Okay, I'm going to stop on this comment right here from Otblot. Okay, I am with you, and I know the detection software is bunk. I am a chemistry teacher. As a high school teacher, I get lied to most days and gaslit the rest. The best I can say is to be super kind and probably have copies of your writing. Education is in the transition. Many years ago, I stopped taking any kind of formal writing and said we do it together workshop style. This person right here understands, okay? So apparently the teacher was using something called Turnitin, and Turnitin is a AI detection tool. And so the bottom line here is, if you are being accused of using an AI detection tool, the good news is that there is really no way to prove that you did, and it really comes down to your knowledge of the subject. So if you're able to back it up with some kind of knowledge on the subject, that is going to be the real criteria of whether or not you used an LLM to do your assignment, your essay, or whatever. And you know, also another point that, you know, if you did use GPT, you insist on using GPT or ChatGPT to do your essay, a few things that you can do is just add typos. Look for words that you don't understand. Do you understand all the words that are written in this thing? If not, you need to replace those words. So there's a lot of work, and there's almost an equal amount of work in doing it from the beginning by yourself, or having ChatGPT do it and then you modifying it so that it's in your voice. And that is kind of what we do as conversation designers, is we put everything in the voice of the agent. And so what you need to do in this case is to put the ChatGPT in the voice of you. So that's the bottom line. I'm not even real. This whole thing was AI generated. Prove it. Can't.